Pianos for Peace is about making the arts accessible to everyone.
They literally come dancing down the hall, which is completely different if there wasn't piano music going on. They would not probably be dancing down the hall.
We transform lives and communities by making the arts accessible to all while building peace through music and education. That's our mission. That's the core values of what we do.
And this is a 1,000-year-old melody inspired by Aleppo, destroyed Aleppo. I hope you like it.
He's such a global citizen in terms of to have his background from Syria and then Germany and trained and then in the United States. And so to have him here in Atlanta, I agree, he's just one of the treasures of the city.
This year, in 2019, we displayed 88 colorful pianos all over Metro Atlanta, from the airport, the world's busiest, to 7 MARTA stations, 5 Beltline locations, the King Center, Piedmont Park, you name it.
And if you think about the power of music, and if you say, if we start with this, if we start with two strangers sitting on a piano bench, if we start with the concept of that I played the piano today and I feel better about myself. Sometimes we artificially divide visual arts and the musical arts, and it's creativity, and I think that's part of also what draws people in, that there are these beautiful designs that are on the piano and it draws them in. What's this? And so I think I think a lot of the designs are meaningful and playful, and I think if you just had a black Steinway piano sitting down, I think people would be a little apprehensive about it. But if they see the artwork on it, it draws them in. They want to see it. They want to be closer to it. Then they see the background in terms of Pianos for Peace. So I think the artwork is it's key in terms of doing that, and exposes artists, and it really allows them. And if you talk to a lot of artists, they will talk in musical terms. You know, they see sounds and music as they're painting, and they'll have music in the background, and the music reflects in terms of it. So I think it helps draw that out.
Usually the piano is shiny, black piano or brown piano. You can't touch it. It's on the stage. I wanted the piano to be colorful, in the park, on MARTA station, in unexpected places where a little kid who never had an opportunity to touch a piano, touch it, and spark that passion in their heart.
But the thing I love about it is just the audacity of it. That people go, well, peace? I mean, I get the piano part, but peace. And if you think about the power of music, and if you say, if we start with this, if we start with two strangers sitting on a piano bench, if we start with the concept of that I played the piano today and I feel better about myself, that, you know, if you think about it, Bob Geldof had the vision for Live Aid. And it was, how can music help people on a continent? And it was magnificent. You know, you still can go back, and it's something that people aren't quite as familiar with today, but if you were there at the time, and I think it lives on in terms of there's been a lot of music festivals that are for a cause, and Bob Geldof really saw that vision. And now if you said, oh, you know, this is a concert that is to help make the world better, people go, yeah. And so the concept of that you're putting pianos in a city that draw people and community together, why can't that change the world? And I think it can.
We display these painted masterpieces by volunteer artists, by school students, by staff, and we engage all communities, all the art centers in Fulton County, from Aviation Center to Abernathy to West End to East Point to College Park.
I just have a passion for sharing creativity with people, and so my piano is very bright and colorful with flowers and glitter, and so I just want to spread joy and freedom to people who see it, and I'm very passionate about that, so very lucky to be a part of this awesome movement.
You don't need anybody's permission to unite and to express your feelings. It's in the air. And that's what we've witnessed on MARTA stations, in the airport, the King Center. People are visiting the King Center and his message of peace and equality and justice, and all of a sudden they see a painted piano underneath his beautiful portrait. Why? Inviting them to share their peace and perform and be part of our Symphony for Peace.
My favorite thing is actually just to watch sort of as a observer and see when there's no ceremony, there's nothing, and people kind of come up and they look at there's an explanation as to what it is, and they kind of play a little bit, and then you can just see that there's something that's there. They took music lessons, they played, and it just, you see this smile creep into their face, and it just, for me, that's magnificent.
One story, when we had a piano near the library in downtown, a homeless guy was hesitant to even approach the piano. He wasn't sure if he was allowed to touch it. And he came. He performed Chopin. It was, oh my God. When he finished, we had a big crowd of people attending this concert by this artist, not by the homeless. They didn't see him as a homeless guy. So it transforms our image, our lives in the community. And that's what I talk about, unity, bringing unity back to the community, because community has unity in it.
If you talk to people and you have friends and you say, oh, do you play the piano? And they're like, I used to. But it's funny, you do. It's just you don't play it well, or you don't want to play it in public, or you haven't practiced. But there's somehow, when there's a piano there and it's in front of you, people remember. There's something that's just ingrained, and particularly if you've learned something, most people have taken lessons at a younger age, and it's there. And so, and to dust that off and to find that part of your childhood, that's where I think the people are, and it brings back memories of people who may no longer be around, and who they took lessons with. I think that's a very special place for people.
So what I always witness is going to our shared common values of humanity. No more titles, no more all the baggages all the boundaries that we limit ourselves. They disappear magically without anybody's permission when we have these pianos. And the mission is to bring unity back to the community through the soft power of art and music.
And it is our pleasure to welcome you to this, our 4th annual closing ceremony for the Pianos for Peace program. I'm sure if you've walked around town, you've been able to see those pianos located throughout the area. This is one of the first projects that I had ever participated in here at the airport, and I love it, and every year it gets bigger and better and more enjoyable.
The way that I know about Pianos for Peace is actually they have partnered with our school, and we walked in the chorus one day and we saw this nice hand-painted piano, and he explained to us how we got it and why and everything, and that's how we found out.
I see in front of me is a true symphony for peace. The term symphonia in Latin means to sing together. And this is a timely and a meaningful initiative to preserve and protect our American values of justice, freedom, and most importantly, peace.
We are here today to recognize a program that has been influential in its efforts to build peace across our community through music and education. As one of the largest public art display projects in Atlanta, Pianos for Peace featured 88 of these beautiful hand-painted pianos strategically across our region. A month ago, Hartsfield-Jackson welcomed 2 of these beautiful instruments into our domestic and international terminals. Like the other eye-catching pianos, these instruments are here for anyone to enjoy, and enjoy they have. Some players display truly magical musical gifts. Other players, not so much. And you know what? That really didn't matter. What mattered was that the music resonated, bringing smiles and joys to the guests at the world's busiest airport. Indeed, music has the power to elicit happiness, strengthen communities, and transform lives, and keep our customers in line for the checkpoint smiling.
When you hear good music, when you see people doing their best, and you see people doing something other than the stereotype, it makes everybody happy to hear and see.
To sing together for peace, for justice, for humanity, for equality, for our common shared human values.
While Pianos for Peace is just a month-long celebration, its impact will reverberate far beyond. In fact, the organization is donating pianos to nursing homes, healthcare facilities, community centers, and even some of our local schools. 2 of Hartsfield-Jackson's aviation schools, Martha Ellen Stillwell School and of the Arts and Frederick Douglass High School, will receive pianos from this initiative. And we're glad to have the principals of both of those schools here with us today. With these instruments, students can grow their musical talent year-round. And as some of you know, our aviation education program serves as one of Hartsfield-Jackson's signature community outreach initiatives. Since its inception in 2002, the program has connected the world's busiest airport with schools and communities within the footprint of the airport. In its mission to unify and transform communities, Pianos for Peace has us all playing from the same tune. I hope you all join us in applauding the program and wish it well as it continues to spread unity and peace across our region.
It unifies people and it really brings people together, and it's just so cool to be like, oh, I did this piano. It just has a piece of my heart. And
one of the airport art program's objectives is to bring positive and exciting cultural experiences to our passengers. The Pianos for Peace initiative aligns with this mission and also provides instruments for our partner schools and greater community. It's a win-win.
whatever your background, whatever your language, whatever your religion, to be able, people share, a love of music.
It's just helping everybody break out and, be the best as they can be by hearing music. And that's something everybody likes, and that's something we all have in common.
What we do after this amazing Symphony for Peace, which I call the largest symphony of peace in Atlanta, because we are in the streets. As you can see, we have an amazing talent performing as we speak here at the airport. We take all these colorful pianos and we donate them to schools in need, nursing homes and underserved, any community center, healthcare facilities. One of the programs is art education. We partner with schools from Frederick Douglass, the one you heard today, to Martha Stewart School for the Arts, Grady High School. And we also partner with healthcare facilities, Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, Music Heals. So from the art program to the music therapy program, where we engage people with different needs. We even have artists with different needs who engaged with us and volunteered their time and talent to paint. They are part of our community. And the third program is community arts, where we actually partner with Fulton County Arts and Culture to engage students through their summer programs in their art centers. So we turn their summer camp programs into Pianos for Peace projects, where they paint the pianos.
If you're a young performer, to be recognized and win a prize, that could really make a difference in your career. So the performances are magnificent in and of themselves for Malek's talent and his ability to really showcase his compositions. But then over and above it, to take it that extra mile and say, I'm going to recognize performers from literally around the world and have a prize for them. And so that makes a difference in someone's career. And so what Malek does is he arranges and he picks them up, and he has a warehouse facility, and Morningstar is a company that I have an affiliation with, and they donated a large warehouse facility in Buckhead so that Malek has a place to bring the pianos year round. He paints them, he has them professionally tuned, and then they're distributed out, and so they remain in tune during the course of, it's 3 weeks or so, and so they remain tuned in there, but they are tuned after they're donated. You talk about the ultimate recycling program, that it's something that otherwise, people just are of a certain place where they don't need a piano. And so what do you do with it? And it's just such an incredible instrument, and it'd just be a crime to throw it away or to dispose of it. Instead, to have it and give it new life, that is really important.
What is more important about Pianos for Peace is the real impact, which is going to the schools and underserved. It's fun, as you've seen the pianos in the airport or on the Beltline or in the streets of Atlanta and the parks, but the real impact is when we take that piano to kids in a school that don't have a piano. And I invite you in the community to go see the sparks in their eyes when they see a colorful baby grand piano arriving into their schools. And that's the real impact. Or, going into a nursing home. You have all these elderly people who are lonely with Alzheimer's disease, have nothing to do. All of a sudden they have a painted, colorful piano where we go engage artists and pianists in Atlanta to go and share on a Sunday morning, perform for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. and connect. It's about connecting and spreading peace through this symphony for peace.
We have 300 to 400 seniors who arrive on Tuesdays and Thursdays, sometimes a little frantic from traffic, parking, different issues in the morning. They walk in the door, they walk in the building, and are instantly greeted with music. And the smiles on people's faces are incredible. I mean, and for those of us working in the building, our blood pressure goes down too, because we are now hearing this music all down the halls, and it's just been such a wonderful gift.
And then to have an afterlife where they live on. It's not like they go back to a warehouse and they go back to, they live on in schools and in retirement communities and hospitals, and to have that, so they continue giving life.
I was in charge of getting speakers for Seniors Enriched Living on current topics. So I contacted Malek, and Malek agreed to come speak to our group. And he talked about Pianos for Peace, looked around at our group and said, "You guys need a piano." So instantly we struck up a relationship, and over the months, he got a piano donated to Pianos, to SEL from Pianos for Peace. And we had somebody paint it, and we had somebody play it for our members, and it's become a big part of how we meet and greet our 400 participants every week here at Seniors Enriched Living.
So we had a lot of fun with this project. I mean, we just decided to fully embrace it and do what we thought was best for our organization. So Jenny Carmichael, the artist, came up with this theme, which really coincides with SEL's mission, which is community, connection, education. So this goes right along with that. And we had a great time getting the piano, getting it ready with some fun volunteers, working with the church here to make sure that it was tuned and ready for our first time we played it, and just offering it to the community. Youth are in this building, a prayer group meets in this room, so other people can play the piano too, and we are really happy to be part of that.
Pianos for Peace, I've known about it for a while. Many of my piano students, I'm a piano teacher as well, have come across Piano for Peace pianos at different locations and have told me about it and how they played, and people gathered around, and it was such a positive experience. It makes people want to play the piano in public. A lot of people do not get the opportunity to play for anybody in public, and many people play the piano. And so it's just a great opportunity for people that can play to get to play for others and spread music.
So we started recruiting seniors, and we call it Music in the Mornings. And so we asked volunteers to sign up to play on Tuesday or Thursday mornings, just for about 20 to 30 minutes. And it's been really interesting to watch some of these players who, they said they might have even been nervous to come in and play. And then as they sat here and played and had feedback and all the smiles of the people who got off the elevator, it was like they instantly relaxed. They felt in their groove, and then they returned, and they would play 2 or 3 different times for us.
Well, when you come in the morning, I'm an instructor here, and then when you come in the morning is when you're right outside the door, you can hear it throughout the building, hear it outside. And so instead of complaining about the guy that took your parking space, or your hip hurts, or life sucks, you hear the piano and you start to smile. And everybody smiles. If they don't stop in here, they'll continue walking down the hall and you can hear it. And it really, I thought it was but when I first came in, it really does make a difference listening to the music. And it's different all the time, so it's just a good way to start your day.
And it completely changes the atmosphere of someone entering this building and that whole experience. So
when they get off the elevator, do you see the look in their faces?
they come dancing down the hall. They literally come dancing down the hall, which is completely different. If there wasn't piano music going on, they would not probably be dancing down the hall.
We're growing every year, you know, from 50 pianos last year to 88 this year. Who knows, maybe 100 next year.
A lot of people have pianos just sitting at their home that they never use. And a piano needs to be used. And it spreads music. It brings people together. It helps the spirits of people as they listen to it. And to have that available just to the general public, where you may go to a train station or a park and get to have this experience. I mean, I couldn't think of a better use for pianos.
Why can't that be in places where there's spots of conflict that are around the world and bring recognition to, do we share the commonality in terms of that? And so we'd like to hope that that does bring people together. And so as it expands, and we'd like to see the program in other cities, other countries, other places. So that's the big vision.
Pianos for Peace really does. It just brings everyone together as one, and it really does just that. It spreads peace.
If your group needs music and is interested in just kind of building the community part of your organization, definitely apply for a piano, get an artist, and work together, because it is something that will be a great gift to you.
Music it's just good. It helps everybody.
And I think that it's that bringing people together from diverse backgrounds and different, and intersecting them and have them come away with, I like that, you know, and this person made me feel good to be around, and whether it's listening to someone else or whether it's the experience, you know, and the shared experience, the drummer and the piano player, or whether it's, you know, playing chopsticks, it's any of those. I think that if we come away with the experience of this is someone who didn't look like me, who I might not have otherwise met.
And that's what it's all about. It's about making the arts accessible and inspiring everyone.
Thanks for watching. Go to AIBTV.com/donate to support programming like this. Your contributions may be tax deductible.